So this is the crust so far. This is the bottom crust. Came out really nice. See that? This is for the bottom of the pot pie. I have it in 2 loaf-sized pans. And we're going to put our filling in there. Doesn't that look pretty good? Yay, yo. I hope it comes out good. So we'll try it in a little bit. Okay, we've got our ingredients for our the cream part. We got, oh, I got to get 2 more tablespoons of butter. 1 second. Okay, so this is the this is going to be the creamy part of the pot pie. You can put your peas, carrots, green beans. I'm putting chicken in here and some peas. Make sure it's keto. You can put keto veggies in here if you want it totally keto, okay? But the crust is definitely keto, and the sauce here. You can put some green peas, which I have some frozen ones. I feed my fish green peas all the time, so I always have some of those handy. And I'm going to put carrots, and I'm going to put green beans. And that's pretty much all the vegetables I'm putting in here besides, and I'm going to put the chicken. I'm going to shred it up in the shredder, the grater over there. But I put the xanthan gum in already. I was supposed to wait until after, so that way it thickens, but you can always add more. That's the paprika there. She's sleeping, huh? She did? Did she eat good? Okay, I've been just chopping up the chicken. I added like a little piece because you don't want it too pulverized. So just use your pulse. And then that should be good. You can chop it up too. You don't have to do shredded. If you don't want it shredded and you want to have it chunks of chicken in your pot pie, but I'm just shredding it up. And then I'm going to add it like that in my my sauce. Okay, so it's getting a little thicker. See how it's thickening up a little bit there? So now we're going to add a little bit more xanthan gum. And now this is the thing. If it's too thick for you, then you can add some more cream, heavy cream, into it, and it'll thin it out a little bit. I'm getting this recipe from, ooh, hold on. I'm making a mess, aren't I? So I got the recipe from Everything, ATE, and it has like a cookie in the middle. It has everything, everything, and it's keto. So you can look that up because their ingredients that they put are a little bit different than what I put. So I did add a little bit of chicken bouillon in there with tomato, because chicken and tomato bouillon, because it didn't taste as flavorful as I thought it would. It was kind of bland-ish. So I wanted it more flavorful. You can add a little more of whatever you think, you know. I put thyme in here too. It didn't call for it on this recipe for the ingredients here. And let me see, because the crust I made from 2 different things, and I didn't add as much of the cheese. I just put a little bit of the mozzarella, like a half a cup, I think, or was it a cup? I think a cup, and it called for 3, and the crust came out just fine. So taste will tell. I'm trying to come up with the best crust, you know, like a flaky like crust, and I'm gonna put the crust on the top of that. So stir it up pretty good. It says rapidly or whatever. See how thick it's getting? See that? Oh, and by the way, I did make me some more. I'm still making the flaxseed gel. I ran out one day and I said, well, I'll make it. And I did it really late because I did my dishes pretty late. And so I made that pretty late and it was still hot. So I said, well, I'll let it cool off and I'll put it in the bottles. And I fell asleep. But it was cool in the house because we had the air pretty much, because it got hot in the house, about 81 degrees. So we had the air on for a little bit, like to the 70s, 8. And so it was still good. It wasn't, you know, it cooled off, and I went ahead and bottled it up and used it today after I did the hair wash. I was kind of late doing the hair wash. Usually I do it on Wednesday. But anyway, see how thick that's getting? You can add more. I think it should be thicker than this because Potpie, it shouldn't be thin like that. So I think we can make it a little thicker than that. I'm going to add the vegetables, and if it still seems thin, of course it's going to cook in the oven. See how thick that's getting? I think it's going to be thick enough. I'm seeing something thicken up down there. I can feel it slick. You know how you can tell, like when you're making pudding or something, it's getting slick at the bottom? Okay, so I'm going to have to get ready to add my vegetables, okay? Yeah, I don't think this is thick enough for the filling like it should be. Hope I don't put too much, guys. We can add cream if we do. I doubled the recipe, so there we go. Add a little bit more xanthan gum. Looks like it's trying to thicken on the side there. We don't want to like lumpy oatmeal, do we? Okay, that's enough. You know, it's kind of like a gravy. When you add it, you want to be careful because it will thicken and lump up. Gravy does. You know, you got to add a little hot liquid with the... See how it's doing right now? I think we got a mess. No, we don't. It's okay. We'll mush those suckers out if we have to. Those thick xanthan gum deposits. Okay, so I think it's going to be thickening pretty soon, and our chicken is ready over here. And we got our vegetables. I got canned ones and I got some frozen ones too. So if your vegetables decide, oh, I think I'm going to melt and get mushy a little bit, that's fine because you're just going to have the flavor. You won't have the, because you could use fresh ones too. If you want, and I think a lot of people do use the fresh ones, but I just, for some reason, I don't know why I got the canned ones. I just wanted to get done quicker, but I might have made a mistake by doing that because just carrots are really soft, really soft. So you know, you don't want them too soft. But I should have stirred a little faster for the xanthan gum, but it's okay. It seems like those are little pieces of potato. Don't bite into that. You're like, ooh, what is that? Oh, there's little keto potatoes in there. Okay, so I think that's thick enough. See how thick that's looking? And we're going to add our other stuff, and it should thicken as we go. Okay, we got our carrots, peas, and green beans, and I'm adding the chicken now. And this is shredded. You can cube it up if you want, but I think shredded kind of spreads through a lot better. And you're not looking for like, oh, I got five pieces of chicken in my pot pie, you know. So yeah, that's thick enough. Look at that. Once you put all the ingredients, I probably should have waited to do more. You can put cream in here though if you want to do it a little bit more thinner. If this is too thick, but I like it thick. I think pot pies are good thick, nice and thick. But we're going to do this again in the winter time. And then I found a recipe on keto, what is it? Low Carb Love, where she made, if you like sweet potatoes and you know you can't eat it on keto, she made a kind that is out of squash, and it is going to be so delicious. I'm trying that in the winter time. And then you get those kind of sweet potatoes that are keto. There. Look at that, guys. I think I might have too much, but we could save it for a rainy day, you know, put it in the freezer. And because I made a double recipe, I probably should have just made one. But I could make another crust and make another one of these if they really like it. So look at that. You want to, should we add a little bit more cream? Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit more cream because don't you see how they usually put that pot pie? You can, it's soupy like, not soupy, but more juicier. And you take a spoonful. the small ones, like the little personal ones, are better, because if you use the pans that I have, you're going to be cutting those up in servings sizes. Get a piece of the crust and some of the bottom crust and cut it. So we don't want it too thin either, because you want to be able to cut it and then it's, you know, a whole piece. Okay, I think we should try it. Okay, we're going to take a little bit. It's good. It tastes like it needs some kind of seasoning. Some more seasoning in it. It's good though. It is good. You know, how can you go wrong with chicken? And put a little pepper in there, okay? Chicken and how can you go wrong with? It called for another kind of flavoring, but I didn't have it. The vegetables in there and that cream. It's really good. So, okay, now we're gonna add our vegetables in here. Okay. Yeah, it's not as soupy as a regular pot pie, but since we're cutting these, I think it's better to do it this way, because we're gonna cut it for individuals to get some out of here, and you want it kind of whole. But if you're making like the small separate ones, make it more soupier so it can be just like the ones that you had on the airplane, or the ones you buy out of the store. If you want it more soupier. And I didn't add it. I'm going to put a lot in here because I'm going to put the crust right on top. I didn't have the big enough, I don't think I had enough crust really to go all the way to the top. So, yeah, I think one recipe would have done it for both of these, because this is like one whole big one if you add these two together. So, but I'm just going to put the other in a freezer and save it for, like I said, another day, or rainy day or whatever. Okay, so we're going to go get the other top crust and I'll be back. Okay, for the keto crust, you might want to just mash it on there. If you use a rolling pin a little bit, I had it in the freezer for a little bit and it got hard, so I had to let it thaw out a little bit. This gets really soft. So just kind of play with it and form it. You know, if you have little spots open, put it over there. Okay? And there's real butter in here, so it's really good and buttery. So just make sure you close up the parts, and then you're gonna put a little thing in the middle. So just kind of fit it on there. I shaped it before I put it on the pan, so that way it doesn't fall all apart, because it will. Okay? So I'm gonna put a hole in the middle, because you don't want it to overflow. So just kind of do something to let the, you know, let it flow out. And this one I kind of messed up a little, but it's all right. So it might not even need me to cut this one. All right, and then I'm gonna add a special little touch. And that's how much I had left. See that? I thought I was gonna have more than that. Uh-oh, it's time. I'm gonna put a little egg wash on there. Okay, they're done. I'm getting ready to stick them in the oven. You can't really see, but there's a hole there, okay? And one there. All right, we'll show you when they come out. Okay, look how beautiful that looks. Oops. You might see a little white on there because I forgot to mix the egg white with the water the first time I put it on there, so it will milk it up a little bit. But that is that delicious pot pie. It's a keto pot pie, and I put them in these loaf looking pans, and doesn't that look good? The inside, let's see if we can see in there. Looks like it's gonna be delicious. But it's really hot. I just took it out, so I'm not gonna cut it. I might not even cut it till tomorrow. Excuse me. But just know it's probably gonna be good. Should I cut a little piece for you guys to see? Hold on. Okay, so looky here. This is the pot pie. I cut it out of here. See how it stayed together? If you leave it a little thicker and you're making it in like a, where you get cut individual pies out of it, then make it a little thicker. And see this? Look at that. All the goodies in there. And it looks like the carrot kind of chopped up a little because they were already cooked. But that's fine. And then we got a little crust on the bottom. See there? Let's see what it looks like. Let's try it. Really? That is good. Let me try the crust, because I'm trying to get the best crust. Way better crust with the butter. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and munch this. It is good, and that's how it looks. And I would tell you, you know I would, because I told you how certain times I made something and it tasted bland or whatever. I did tell you that. But for the keto pot pie, they have their ingredients, but you might want to go ahead and add your own little flavoring, because this was kind of bland until I added a little bit of the what is it? The bouillon, chicken and tomato bouillon. But look at that. Doesn't that look like a pot pie? Delicious. And this is keto, girl. Good. That is really tasty. And the crust is good. Everything's good. Just take your time and make it, and do all the things, all the steps. Alright, I'm going to go finish this. Have a good day. Thank you, subscribers. I'll see you in the next video.